Yes, welcome back. So here a continuation of my comments about the involvement of Umuofakaja in whatever that is happening in my father's house as far as Joe's case is concerned. So before more I proceed here, I want to also make this a disclaimer that anybody in the mention now when I hear people that are witnesses. There's no way I can replace their names with something else or another person's name. So that's it. So Ihemrenji Bido Kuma started this channel by examining or talking about the dynamics of my father's relationship with Umuofakaja, or to be able to emphasize or to make to announce what is the content of my diaries as far as things that my father was able to tell me and things that my mom was able to tell me. So growing up as a young boy in Lagos at that time, seeing the treatment my father was getting from the Yorubas, because they were not very friendly with the Igbo people after we migrated back to Lagos. So, and then my dad shifted attention to Umuofakaja, and this will explain what is expected today. And if I compare it with the situation now that about things that happening in my father's house, will now explain what was my father's take, or what is my father's take about the or from the establishment of the Umuofakaja as a union of the kindred. So Elemanya who that na the formation of Umuofakaja was much pronounced in Lagos at that time, which was something that is commendable, because Umuofakaja ndeke on the home front, the village was not very very strong, because majority of them people were living at Aba, and then Owerri, and then Umuahia, and then Port Harcourt, and then Enugu. So they were not very strong of Umuofakaja representatives in the village. There was more, because Lagos was where we had more numbers of Umuofakaja residents in Lagos at that time. So we expected a full house. So, and then when my dad returned to the village precisely in the month of April 1985, I have expected a turn of the event to test the content of what my father said, basara the treatment Umuofakaja enyegea. So Papa Malo Blola ejikwa na hemekwa meeting ha in Lagos, and I normally attend the meeting. Ijile mongone hendage any discussion that is being pointed towards the incident my dad in Onimea. This Papa was one of their chairman that resigned and then went home to the village to attend to his sick wife, who was our mother. On any consideration, on any discussion about the welfare of Sajo, there was nothing like that I had. So the meeting Jamado, Umuofakaja, Ehodo meeting her in different places. Most of the time, Yamano Mike. So major there, you imagine to Hache Kugoku and the kind of thing they were saying. So the only thing I was able to see was how many cartons of malt, how many cartons of beer, or so ekemo ụgba aparịa ụgba ha ewere ngaji ha ekuo ya kwa ngongongongo ha ewu ọnụ ka etige ya n'ọnụ, then ekema bia ndị dị payọs ha yes ya were bia nke ya ewere otu tii n'okpuru oche, ewere otu kpara n'aka. Yes, so ha richaa ha ṅụrụ ya, ha rọgbuo, ha prezie Mike onwe n'ego. So that was the situation at that time. The situation our dad didn't know in the village. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody made any comments. Nobody made any reference to the situation our dad didn't know. Especially when you begin to consider the fact that Joe was already with Mike, and Franca already later finished her school and returned to stay with Mike. At the time, Joe, Franca, Ike, all of them were in Lagos. Alodo, and the meeting. This is where I expected that the people like Finpat should be able to call Mike and say, Mike Bia, lekwa hai chori kuno, be condition no dota no about your mom and your dad. I only one Jimmy Franca Lolo back. Ebe agla the only one you know. Ka pop no Franca for at least 2 years to stay with your mom. So Mike came yashina ya somebody gonna nogide our dad. Onye wara nwoko. And the boy is not even staying with our dad. He's like that person was your houseboy. Oh, that person was never employed to take care of Sajo and our mom. Our mother anya who that na akwa ya echenjiele asa na akwa our mom echenjiela panty yemena doti asa na ya brazil ya echenjiele ya all those kind of a thing should be handled by a woman, not all those things are the duty of another man. So that did not happen until so if I made sure that or I took it as a point of duty that every leave I have to go home. I stay with my mom. All kind of support that I was able to give at that time. So Olo Sajo ekelo ademonye ne ani photo an ga-etinye here na onye olelekwa photo anya ga-ahụkwa that na onwe anybody no inside this photo that is one of my siblings. Nobody. The house was empty. So him mejuru meje ebe nori je kpọta junior sister osisi ego kpọkpụle ya papa metighe ya na school. So the girl began to live with our dad and our mom ijine enye aka to keep vigil of our mothers in her own condition. So the point I'm trying to make is this, and it is a time for us to be able to examine what is the share of our fathers in the formation of Umuofakaja as the backbone of the family. What respect, what assistance, what moral support did my father enjoy? Zero, nothing. So people like Finbat, one on day supposedly for any gamshi lekwa no hai chorekuni lekwa no hai game. So that did not happen. So what happened now, ihe gbasara ọnwụ Joe or whatever story that is surrounding Joe, I have expected in a situation whereby Umuofakaja should be able to stand, to be able to take a firm position. Lekwa here our own stance on this thing, lekwa hai chori ikuni, lekwa hai chori imeni. Nothing like that. Maladolam Joe Haji only Henoma Basara, what is happening to Joe, Hishahama, Hehano, obituary Amana, and there's nothing. So Mike was positioning himself like he knows that Umuofakaja will not intervene, and even if they do, there is nothing they are going to make him he's not going to budge to anything. So but the point remains like this, that this kind of a thing that is happening to my father's house, or that happened to Joe, or happened to any other family in that kindred. I'm going to take emergency meeting, or go to 12 midnight, I get meeting people, everybody will, okay, I get send a message to Ndeke no Maya, Ndeke no Port Harcourt, Ndeke no Aba, Ndeke no Enugu, everybody should return. Habia, one meeting, they will just come and decide they are in her game to be able to talk about what has happened to their brother. But Orula na case in K Joseph, nobody is talking about that. So everybody Amiana, even those people the event that led to my mother's ill health, the other situations that made me to be suspecting that something is not right in my father's house. He kuripa with me, shim chukodi awoni mana gala through Umuofakaja, meeting aigalim, those kind of a thing. Now, Orula at this time now, everybody amiana, because Orula the case is a joke. They don't want to get involved. So this is the point that I'm trying to make here. Oru no but this meeting when I'm not in this position, Olo Papam Nea. Make emergency even at one meeting now contribute to Mego Joseph ego agaji sort out other families situations. But Orula my dad now, nobody is talking anything about it. So, but I will make another reference to what happened. Though Abasara, the Otuaji may expel this woman who was from my father's house. Onya tenant, Papa Mjiraka Boda Doma in the house before he died. So automatically may expel. I will do another video. I will make a comment to talk about, explain everything that happened in that situation. But now, the only thing the only point in making now, or two Umuofakaja meeting, they be more. Has a rope to Moki, Mangwada, led by Fimbat, has a rope, giddy, beer in the middle of the night, shall watch at your hit for noise. On an ime kitchen is Shigani. So he show home offer to Hoshimana at your hit from the house. Before that incident happened, there was one that also occurred there that the Fimbat the Pious was involved. Mike in the middle of the night, ejenje nyoma in the backyard. Gaba neba lili papa bisakanga becheberi. Then Nash on the other side. Mike lekwa ejimanya ma bo nele Mike goes on the door. Mike ajo henshi who goes there. So ya warrior so baje who inside is the bedroom jeje bedroom papa ni jeje chia bola ya sha na meeting bo Pious bo Fimbat sha taya hunu nose ngo hono na lili papa ekugoku share chineke me made surprise. So I would have expected in a situation whereby Fimbat should take a stance. Yeah, my gosh, okay, Onya no here or nurse. Let's call her to be able to explain, because nurse was not the person, I was the person. So the position of Fimbat na Pious was better explained. The year Mike Ishi Italy alo ashilo lo batara home mo rentiela one boys quarter, so one Bentley motorcycle, and the condition of mamanye no nimeya was the way it was. Onwe hegi many Mike aga mobilize umonna ya Chinedu will agree, Franca will agree, Fimbat na umonna, everybody no Umuofakaja will agree, Mogangunu will gather Shichukodi ka hapa from Aroshi na imori nguru ishaya shingamaje bikwa saka je doishia ya ukola sha njiri nanyi ure mwogwego mokwanu be condition jo jiri dre now aneku we are about to jo ashida mu are implicated in any way. Onwe hegi many smike gi were akre ma akporo n'onu ya ure jeje gwa umaganguru okwu. Everybody believe where that they will not summon me be eji jimachiri Umuofakaja ejeme meeting ha machiri bebele that woman will send her out of the house. On kabaga heji will jimachiri bebe meet him bomoshi that na Chinedu gekwere, Franca gekwere, everybody will agree in as much as aganewere ekwoloku that a whole decision of the elders that I should go and obey the executives of aganewere. Apart from Arisha and that Angaye Duishi Akaba Kukula na Hebasarajo. But now, Orula na the reverse is now the case. This is to show the kind of hatred and then the kind of plot and plans Umuofakaja Ngone Nebe Joseph Abarano. And then they are doing all they can to be able to see that they achieve the goal of tearing my father's house down and destroying my own father's legacy. So this thing they are doing now is part of the politics, and I'm not surprised that it is happening like this. Thank you for listening.